Hi everyone, Dr. Fields here. So today I'm going to be teaching you what I call the subtraction method in terms of putting together a weight loss plan. I know a lot of you really balk at the idea of having to count calories and create a plan based on, figuring out what you're going to have for breakfast, what you're going to have for lunch, dinner, et cetera, how many calories everything is. So I have a simpler method. This method is really for people who have basically been pretty much maintaining their weight for a while. So let's say for at least 3 months or more, you've pretty much been the same weight. And not that there is a lot of consistency to the way that you eat, but maybe there is some kind of consistency. I think I mentioned this before that, a lot of the ways in which we eat tend to be pretty consistent and stable in the sense that, we tend to have, let's say, a breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and maybe a couple snacks, maybe one between lunch and dinner and one late at night, or maybe we have a couple snacks at night. We might tend to uh, overindulge a lot more on the weekends, but there tends to be some kind of stability to our eating a lot of the time. And so if you're someone like that who's been basically at the same weight for at least several months, and you can look at your eating and say that, I have this many meals per day, that tends to not fluctuate a lot. It doesn't necessarily have to be the same kinds of things you're eating, but I bet you that the amount of calories is probably not terribly different either. So rather than getting into counting calories and knowing exactly what you're eating or making a meal plan and then trying to figure out exactly how many calories you should eat at each meal, first sit down and decide how many meals you're having and then rate them. And it's a simple rating: small, medium, and large. A large meal being a lot of calories and a small meal being not so many calories. However, if the meal size is small, but you're eating, like, let's say, really calorically dense food like donuts and nuts and things like that, fried foods, then you have to kind of adjust that. So we're really looking at not so much the size of the meal, but the calories. Okay, so like in other words, I'll give you an example. You could have like a huge salad and we would rate that as a small meal because there's usually not a lot of calories in a salad as long as you're not like dousing it with high fat dressing. So something of that nature, right? And it doesn't have to be exact, just kind of ballpark it, get a good idea. Okay. All right. The next thing I want you to do is determine how much weight you want to lose each week. Be realistic on this. To lose a pound, you have to subtract 3,500 calories from the week, which comes out to 500 calories a day. So to lose 2 pounds of weight a week, you'd have to double that. You'd have to cut out 1,000 calories a day. 2 pounds of weight a week, I would say, really should be like the maximum. I wouldn't really shoot for more than that unless like you're super motivated and you think you can deal with being a little bit uncomfortable, right? If you don't really want to experience much discomfort, but you want a plan that's going to be successful, go for like a pound of weight a week. You can always adjust it. If it's really easy and you're like, wow, this is nothing, then adjust it. So let's say for this example, we want to lose a pound a week. It's really simple. Look at your meals and then see, how can I take out 500 calories? Is there a whole meal I can get rid of? Like, is there a late night snack? And then all you have to do is you don't have to look up the calories for every single thing you've been eating. You just want to get a good idea of what you need to take away or what you probably need to take away and what the calories are for that. Because at the end of the day, we're just looking to take calories away. And given that you've been basically in, this status quo mode where you haven't been really gaining much weight or losing much weight, then it stands to reason that whatever pattern that you're eating now, if we take 500 calories away from that each day, you'll lose weight. So it might just be a snack. That might be at least 500 calories. It may just, it may be dinner. Maybe you're going overboard on dinner. Like maybe you've rated dinner as your large meal and it's just about portion control. And so if you're eyeballing it and you're saying like, usually I have like at least 2 full plates of food, if we just do like, you know, a plate and a half even, that might do it. Or just 1 plate for sure. And then, you know, looking at like condiments, those kind of things, like there's a lot of calories in things like butter and gravy and mayonnaise and high fat salad dressing. So looking at that, and then really trying to see where you can cut back. So you don't necessarily need to create a whole new meal plan. You could basically just look at the style in which you've been eating in terms of how many meals you tend to have each day, which ones tend to be the ones with more calories. And if it's pretty consistent, where there doesn't seem to be one meal that stands out as more calories than the rest, then see if you can shave a little bit off each one and see if there's some things on the different meals where you feel like you really need to cut back, like, all right, I'm heavy with this or that. Okay. And let me know how you do in the comment section, and we will talk soon.